Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful week like always. Today, I am continuing with my David Bowie discography journey, and we have made it to his 7th studio album called Pinups from 1973. Now, he did release 2 albums in 1 year, Aladdin Sane and Pinups both came out in 1973. The only difference is Pinups is actually a covers album. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of listening to covers albums, but I'm still excited to listen to this album because it is David Bowie, so I think I'm still gonna have fun checking it out. Now, there are 12 tracks, and the album is 34 minutes, so it's quite short. And other than that, I really don't have anything else to say right now, so let's jump into the album with track number 1, Rosalind. And that was track number 1, Rosalind, and this was fun. I mean, I really don't have a lot to say about it other than my body was reacting perfectly to the song. There isn't really much to talk about when it comes to the lyrics because David Bowie didn't write these songs, so they're not your typical David Bowie lyrics. They're not lyrics we've come to expect from a David Bowie album. Hey Rosalind, tell me where you have been. Tell me where you've been all the night and all the day. Hide and seek's the game you play. Treat me as sure as Sid. So he's essentially asking this Rosalind if she really loves him. Do you really love me? Do you really love me, Rosalind? Now, Rosalind is the debut single from the band Pretty Things, released in 1964. I also want to say that I don't think I've heard any of the original recordings of any of these songs. I definitely loved jamming to this song, and you know what? I would listen to it again. So let's move on to track number 2, Here Comes the Night.
Right out my window, walking down the street, my girl with another guy. Here comes the night. Yeah. There they go, funny how they look so good together. Wonder what is wrong with me. Here comes the night.
This is another great song production-wise. I liked the instruments and the horns, and I thought the production was a lot of fun to listen to. I think this song is a great continuation of track number 1, Rosalind. Now, obviously, Rosalind isn't the same girl in this song because the songs were written by 2 completely different bands. David Bowie did write these songs, but I'm kind of just forming my own story in my head that the character in this song, Here Comes the Night, is Rosalind, and it's a continuation of the story of Rosalind. That's just how I'm listening to the album right now. That's the story I'm forming in my head. I can see right out my window walking down the street my girl with another guy, his arms around her like he used to be with me. Oh, it makes me want to die. Talk about being dramatic. Funny how they look so good together. Wonder what is wrong with me. Why can't I accept the fact she's chosen him and simply let them be? I mean, if he wants her back that much, he should not let her go. He should chase after her, try to win her heart back. I've watched enough movies to know that this happens quite a bit. The guy tries to win back the girl from the other guy, and eventually he wins her back, and she does come back to him, but that's a Hollywood fantasy, and this is real life, so maybe he just needs to let her go. Now, Here Comes the Night is a 1964 song from the band Them. The lyrics tell a tale of obsessive jealousy and approaching loneliness from the point of view of a rejected lover who voyeuristically watches the new couple. Now, from my understanding, Pinups is David Bowie's lowest rated album. Actually, I do believe Pinups is his second lowest rated album. His lowest rated album is his debut album from 1967. We are only 2 tracks into the album. I'm having a lot of fun listening to it. It just doesn't have that David Bowie magic. It does seem quite plain and ordinary. It just doesn't have that oomph. It doesn't have the creativity that I've come to expect from a David Bowie album. But anyway, let's move on to track number 3, I Wish You Would. And that was track number 3, I Wish You Would. And this was another fun song to listen to. As you saw for yourself, my body was reacting perfectly to it. My favorite part of this album so far is the production. I'm just rocking out to it. And like I said already, I haven't heard the original recordings of these songs, so I have nothing to compare these songs to. I'm hearing these songs for the first time, so I'm just going off of what I'm hearing, listening to David Bowie's versions. So I don't know if David improved on the originals, or I don't know if they're worse or just as good. I have no idea. And once again, just like tracks number 1 and 2, he is singing about this girl and he wants her to come back. Come back, baby. What you are trying to do, turning on me and some other men too. Come back, baby. Give me one more chance. You know I still love you. Going to give you romance. Romance all night long. So it's really interesting how all 3 of these songs so far are from different bands, but it's a very cohesive story. It's almost as though, I mean, lyrically, these sound nothing like David Bowie songs, but I just like how the story of the songs so far flow beautifully from one to the next. Now, I Wish You Would is a song by Billy Boy Arnold from 1955. Come back, baby, I wish you would. This crying and grieving will not do me no good. So he's definitely in a lot of pain over this girl and he just wants her back. And once again, I know David didn't write these songs, but I'm just forming my own story in my head. Anyway, let's move on to track number 4, See Emily Play.
Emily tries but misunderstands. Soon after dark, Emily cried.
And that was track number 4, See Emily Play. And Out of the first four songs I've listened to, this one probably sounds the closest to a David Bowie song. Um, it's very bizarre and strange and weird, and I don't really know what to make of it. I didn't really like the last minute of the song where it was just instrumental, and I don't know, to me, it was kind of messy, and it kind of gave me a headache. I am curious to know what other people thought of this song, and I am looking at reviews online, and it seems a lot of people liked this song. A lot of people called it fantastic and great, but I don't know, it wasn't really my cup of tea. I don't know, I just thought the ending of this song was a little bit of a mess. Just the different instruments, the drums and the violins. It just kind of gave me a headache. However, I did like the production of the rest of the song. I also found his vocals to be quite interesting on this track. They were quite deep, especially when he sang See Emily Play, Put on a Gown That Touches the Ground. Now, See Emily Play is a song by Pink Floyd from 1967. I will say there is something about the opening to this song that sounds strangely familiar. That guitar riff, I feel like I might have heard it before. And to be honest with you, I kind of want to check it out right now. See Emily Play is included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. You know what? Because I wasn't a fan of David Bowie's version of this song, I do want to check out Pink Floyd's just quickly.
Emily tries but misunderstands. See Emily play. Gazing through trees in sorrow, hardly a sound. See Emily play. Put on a gown that touches the ground. See Emily play.
And that was See Emily Play by Pink Floyd. Yes! I'm sorry, David, but Pink Floyd's is so much better. Pink Floyd's version of See Emily Play isn't jarring like David Bowie's was to me. I don't know, leave your comments down below. Maybe a lot of you think David Bowie's version of this track is really good. Soon after dark, Emily cries, gazing at trees in sorrow, hardly a sound till tomorrow. There's no other day, let's try it some other way. You'll lose your mind and play. Free games for May, See Emily Play. Put on a gown that touches the ground. Float on a river forever and ever, Emily. There is something quite sinister about these lyrics. I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe I'm the only one, but there is something quite dark and menacing about what they're singing about. Syd Barrett wrote the song, one of the band's original members. He was the group's leader until he lost his mind. Okay. Barrett claimed Emily was a girl he saw when he woke up one night after sleeping in the woods after a gig. It is unclear if she was a real person or a drug-induced hallucination. He did a lot of acid and became very unpredictable. I don't know if that's true. It's just something I learned from this website called Song Facts. It also says that the song was inspired in part by 15-year-old schoolgirl Emily Young, who was the daughter of Wayland Young. But anyway, let's move on to track number 5, Everything's Alright.
Oh, little baby, don't you know that everything's alright? Oh, little baby, oh, little baby, let me give it over like nobody can. Let me give it over like nobody can. That's a lovely you. Give it over like nobody can. Let me give it over like nobody can. Everything's alright.
And that was track number 5, Everything's Alright. And I liked the production of this song. Once again, I liked the piano. It was kind of reminding me of Elton John. Um, and I had fun. Everything is alright. Let me give you loving like nobody can. Let me hold your hand and be your loving man. Now, this is a song by the Mojos released in 1964. I also liked his vocals on this track, and it is a little bit of a party song, I will say, and I really don't have anything else to say about it, so let's move on to track number 6, I Can't Explain. And that was track number 6, I Can't Explain, a short little song. It was just over 2 minutes, and I liked it. I liked, obviously, the production. I don't really have much to say about it. It's very short, and because it's so short, I feel like this song didn't really leave a lasting impression on me. I Can't Explain, Going Out of My Mind, Dizzy in the Head, and I'm Feeling Good. Things you say, well, maybe they're true. I get funny dreams again and again. Know what it means, but can't explain. I think it's love. For this covers album, he did select quite a few songs that touch on heartbreak and heartache, this girl leaving him, and also Dizzy in Love, Going Out of My Mind, Dizzy in the Head, I'm Feeling Good. I Can't Explain is a song that was originally recorded by The Who in 1964. But let's move on to track number 7, Friday on My Mind.
Monday morning feels so bad. Even my old man looks good. Wednesday just don't go. Go to hell from the city. I spend my bread. I lose my head. To the 5-day track once more. Today I might be mad. Tomorrow I'll be glad. Go to heaven in the city. I spend my bread. I'll lose my head. See me go to heaven in the city.
And that was track number 7, Friday on My Mind. Another fun song on the album. Of course, I liked the production, and I also liked his vocals on this track. The production, the instruments, it really did get my body moving, like a lot of the other songs on the album. But when it comes to being a David Bowie song, I know it's a cover, but there's something quite lackluster about it. Maybe it has something to do with the lyrics. I do like the lyrics are fine, but when it comes to being a David Bowie album, I'm so used to his interesting, bizarre, captivating lyrics and stories that this one definitely does pale in comparison. Everybody seems to nag me. Coming Tuesday, I feel better. Even my old man looks good. Wednesday, just don't go. Thursday, it goes too slow. I've got Friday on my mind. Lyrically, I just think it's too simplistic to be a David Bowie song. Now, Friday on My Mind is a 1966 song from the Easy Beats. After I'm done recording this video, I'm definitely gonna have to check out the original recordings of all these songs. But let's move on to track number 8, Sorrow.
With your long blonde hair and your eyes are blue, you're acting funny, trying to spend my money. Sorrow. I tried to find her, 'cause I tried to find her. Sorrow, with your long blonde hair.
And that was track number 8, Sorrow. And I enjoyed this track. I loved the instrumental. I loved the saxophone. And this is probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. I just wish it was longer. Once again, just like a lot of the other songs, it's just too short. I will say, this track almost sounds like an original David Bowie track. With your long blonde hair and your eyes of blue, the only thing I ever got from you was sorrow. You acted funny trying to spend my money. You're out there playing your high-class games of sorrow. You never do what you know you oughta. Something tells me you're a devil's daughter. Now, Sorrow is a song that was first recorded by the McCoys in 1965. It also says that Sorrow was released as the one and only single from Pinups. I'm happy that this was chosen as the first single. So let's move on to track number 9, Don't Bring Me Down.
I'm on my own, nowhere to roam. I wander around, feet on the ground. I say I think this love is grand. Say I'll be your man, don't bring me down. The other day, and down to me, and then I'll lead her on the ground. My head is spinning round, don't bring me down.
I like that part.
It's on the mirror. I'll even die a wedding ring. Say I'll stand the hand. Say I'll be your man. Don't bring me down. Don't bring me down.
And that was track number 9, Don't Bring Me Down. Another fun song to listen to. My body was reacting perfectly to the production, and it's definitely a good time, but I am struggling a little bit with this covers album because I feel like David Bowie is too good of an artist to be releasing a covers album, especially after the huge success of Ziggy Stardust and even Aladdin Sane and Hunky Dory. Why did he feel the need to put out a covers album? I just find this album to be a little unnecessary. To me, it's not really doing anything for his career or artistry. It's just a covers album. I like the production of the album, but to me, it's still not particularly memorable. I definitely feel like there's something missing on this album, and I think part of it has to do with his personality. His personality and heart aren't in these songs because he didn't write them. So to me, this isn't a very personal David Bowie album because it is a covers album at the end of the day. And for me personally, that's what I love most about David Bowie. The personality of his lyrics and the stories and how he sings them and the heart of his songs. And Don't Bring Me Down is a song that was first performed by Pretty Things in 1964. But anyway, let's move on to track number 10, Shapes of Things.
Shapes of things before my eyes. Yeah, within my lonely brain. Will I be older? Maybe a soldier. Now the trees are almost green, but will they still be seen? Don't make them desert sands. Hope that I will find a seat within my mind.
And that was track number 10, Shapes of Things. And I did like the guitars on this track, but this is probably one of my least favorite songs on the album. Now the trees are almost green, but will they still be seen when time and tide have been? Boy, into your passing hands, please do not destroy these lads. Do not make them desert sands. Will I be older, maybe a soldier, maybe I be bolder than today. I do think perhaps lyrically the song is talking about the destruction of forests, perhaps. Please do not destroy these lands. Do not make them desert sands. The song was originally recorded by the Yardbirds in 1966. It does say that the song touches on social commentary. The lyrics are speaking about pro-environment and anti-war. I would love to hear the original recording of this song by the Yardbirds. But anyway, let's move on to track number 11, Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere.
I can go anywhere. I can live anyhow. Anyway, anyhow, anywhere I choose. Nothing gets in my way, not even locked doors. Don't follow the lines that been laid before. I can go anywhere. I can live anyhow. Anyway, anyway I choose. Anyway, anyway I choose.
And that was track number 11, Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere. And another fun song on the album. I really liked the melody of this song. I really liked the chorus. And I liked his vocals on this track. It was just a blast to listen to. And this is definitely another song on the album where I need to hear the original recording of the song. Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere is a song by The Who from 1965. You know what? Because I enjoyed the song so much, I'm gonna quickly check out The Who's version.
I can go anyway. Won't you? I can live anyhow. I can do anything. I can talk anyhow. Nothing gets in my way, not even locked doors. Anyway, anyhow, anyway. I can go anyway. Won't you? I can live anyhow. Way I choose. Anyway, I choose. Yeah, yeah.
Yes! Okay, I think I'm obsessed with this song now. Let me listen to David Bowie's again quickly.
I can go anywhere. I can live anyhow.
Okay, so I think David did a good cover of the song. I do like The Who's version. I think I prefer The Who's version, but I do like David's cover of the song as well. So we have come to the end of the album at track number 12, Where Have All the Good Times Gone?
In my life, I've never stopped to worry about a thing. Why don't you tell me where have all the good times gone? Once we had an easy ride and always felt the same. Time was on our side and I had everything to gain. And mommy didn't need no boys. Where have all the good times gone? Yesterday was such an easy game for you to play. But let's face it, things are so much easier today. Where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone?
And that was the final track of the album, Where Have All the Good Times Gone? And this was a decent cover. Again, I haven't heard the original version of the track, but it's not one of my favorite tracks on the album. I didn't find it particularly interesting, and I probably wouldn't listen to it again. Now, the original version of the song was performed by the Kinks in 1965. Lyrically, the song does kind of remind me of a David Bowie song. Once we had an easy ride, it always felt the same. Time was on our side, and I had everything to gain. Let it be like yesterday, please let me have happy days. Ma and Pa looked back on all the things they used to do. Didn't have no money, and they always told the truth. Daddy didn't have no toys, and Mummy didn't need no boys. Won't you tell me where have all the good times gone? So that was all 12 tracks of Pinups by David Bowie, and I can see why this is one of his lowest rated albums. I don't think it's as bad as some people made it out to be. Or not some people, a lot of people, because a lot of people just didn't like this album. Since its release, the album has received generally unfavorable reviews, many of whom criticize the songs as generally inferior to the original counterparts. Like I said already, I think David Bowie is too good of an artist to be releasing a covers album this early in his career. Maybe in a couple decades. Maybe, I don't know, this is 1973. I think it's too soon for him to be putting out a covers album. I think this album did nothing for his artistry. It does seem like a little bit of a throwaway album, and it's definitely not a David Bowie album I would really listen to again. I had fun listening to quite a few of the tracks. My body was moving and grooving, but for me, that's just not enough for me to want to put on the album again. I think for me, I just didn't find the stories on this album to be as engaging and interesting as his other albums because he didn't write any of these songs. And because he didn't write any of these songs, his heart just wasn't in the music. You could tell. He was just, I don't know, there was something missing, that David Bowie Midas touch. That golden touch, something was missing. I did like the production of the album, but for me anyway, I felt like there were times where the production was getting a little repetitive in some of these songs. Whereas with a lot of his other albums, there was distinct differences with each of the songs on his albums, and you could differentiate them from one another. Whereas this one, they kind of just all blend together in a way. This album was definitely missing that spark, but I didn't dislike it as much as I thought I would. Some people have called it a quick and sloppy covers album. People also criticized David's vocals on the album. So I think that's all I have to say about the album. I don't really have a lot to say about it. What did you guys think of it? What are your impressions? I don't think it's a horrible covers album, but I don't think it's a great covers album. I think it's just a mediocre one. I'm definitely gonna have to check out the original versions of these songs though, because I really did like the original version of Anyway, Anyhow, Anywhere by The Who, track number 11. I also liked Pink Floyd's See Emily Play. But officially, I think that's all I have to say on the album, and in my next David Bowie video, we'll be moving on to 1974 and Diamond Dogs. Yas! So look out for that video next time, and thanks for watching guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can say hey, how are you? And I will see you next time. Take care.